Hey everyone, it's Bethany. In this video, I'm going to be working on a really cute Valentine's Day card. I have been wanting to use this stamp set for the past year, and I was going to make a Valentine's Day card last year, and it just came and went without being used. So I'm going to definitely pull it this year and make a cute little card. So this is a really cute little stamp set that I purchased. Teeny tiny little set, which I love, and then it has the coordinating dies as well. I also pulled a really fun tiny heart stencil, some pink ink, and then I'm also going to be coloring. Usually I do the Copics, but I went ahead and pulled some colors from my Ohuhu marker collection, and I'll link these down below as well. I have two of their collections, so I'll be sure to link both sets down below for you. All right, let's grab a card panel and start building this card. I have a little card panel here, 80-pound cardstock, and everything I use will be linked down below. I also am going to be coloring my little cute skunk with some alcohol markers, so I went ahead and picked an ink to stamp with that is very friendly with alcohol markers, and they play well together so there's no smearing. So what I'll do real quick is I'm going to grab this stamp set, and I think I will grab the skunk, obviously, and then I think I will select just one little heart. Okay, and we'll use the little sentiment stamps a little bit later, but right now I'm just focusing on stamping out the items that I'm going to color. Okay, so I'm going to cling that to my little stamp door here, condition the stamp really well, and let's go ahead. Ooh, I have butterfingers today. I'm in need of a good, slow crafting evening. I had quite a day today. I was going to church early because I'm taking a class before service, and I'm so excited for this class. But on my way there, we have had a lot of freezing rain, and I got to church safely. I parked safely, and on my way in, I had my little backpack in hand, I had my coffee in one hand and my Bible in another hand, and I totally slipped and fell all the way to the ground on ice. It was awful. And believe it or not, my coffee mug did not spill, but everything else about me was just absolutely disastrous. So I am so sore. I had to fake smile in my class and in church because I was just miserable. And now I am recovering. I cannot believe what a simple fall has done. So without further ado, I'm very eager just to sit and be still this evening. And I think it's a perfect opportunity just to slow down and create. So I'm on the mend, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a week of recovery for me, but if I can just stay seated, hopefully by next week, I'm much better. Okay, so I'm going to let this set for just a little bit, just because I put 2 coats on there. That way I don't have any smearing when I do end up using my markers. So let's just let this set for a minute, and in the meantime, I'm gonna bring my stencil in and let's start getting creative with a fun little background. Bringing in a panel. This is 80-pound cardstock once more, and this is at the A2 size of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm simply going to tape this down to my mat. Now, I'm gonna be doing a lot of tape here, but first of all, we're just gonna get it steady. Now I'm going to use this Post-it tape. I think actually this isn't Post-it tape. It's much in the same, but this is a really neat Hefty Doodle tape, and I want to mask off. I'll further trim this down later, but I'm going to mask off. In fact, I will actually grab my Post-it tape because I'll just save this. My Post-it tape is just the right width to do this really easily. Seems like I can get exactly the dimensions that I want. So I am going to add so this is pretty much 1 inch. And so I'm going to do 1 inch margin around my panel here. And I actually might bring it up a tad more on the bottom, just because of the way that I want to structure my sentiment. So I'm going to do an inch, an inch, an inch, but I think I'll bring it up a little bit on the bottom. Okay, so an inch on that side, and let's see here. I think instead of coming up an inch, maybe I'll come up, well, that's not exact, but I think that will be enough. Do that. Okay, so I just brought that up a little bit more because I want to have just a little bit less here, because I think what I'll do is use my stamps down here in this white space. You'll see it all come together. Grabbing that pink lemonade ink, I'm going to load my brush, tap a little bit off, and I'm going to start at the bottom, being careful here not to get, I'm just going to put my fingers here, that way I know I don't want to get any of this to have any color on it, but I'm going to start at the bottom and try to kind of blend all the way to the top and create a nice little ombre fade there. Okay, bring it right up to the top, really nice. And then I'm going to work on that mid-tone just a little bit. Sometimes that means darkening the bottom in order to get that mid-tone just the way I want. Okay, and then with whatever is left on the brush, I'll just bring that up to the top. Okay, now with everything still in place, what I want to do, let me work on just a little bit of that mid-tone once more. Okay, I like that. Maybe even just deepen the bottom just a hair. I think that looks nice. Okay, with this still in place, what I'm going to do is bring in this stencil, just like that. And let me tape this down. And then you could do a different color if you'd like. I'm going tone on tone here. And I don't know that I'm going to really worry about an ombre look here for the hearts. I kind of want to just, well, let's see what we can do. Just want to make sure that they come through. Okay, I'm just going to kind of put a little pattern. And you know what, if you didn't want to spend this time doing this part, you could use a pattern paper. I'm essentially creating my own little pattern here. Okay, I think that's going to look super nice. Let's peel that up. I was pretty light-handed on that, didn't focus too much. Just want it to be a nice soft heart background. How cute is that? Isn't that fun? Okay, so now I'm going to clean off my stencil and we'll start removing all of that tape. All right, so I think I'll start here. Oh, it's so cute. Do this side, look at those nice clean lines. This side, and finally, there. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, now I'll remove this from my mat and let's go ahead and start coloring with our markers really quickly, and then we will start kind of configuring how we want to trim this down. But I think that turned out super sweet. I love how subtle it is, and that ink is going to smooth as it dries. So we're going to get this all set to the side and we'll come back to it in a bit. Okay, let's go ahead and focus on this cute little skunk. And I have a variety of colors pulled here, so here they are. Again, I will link the collection of markers. I have two collections and I'll link them down below, but I have R21, CG2, NG06, and NG03. So what I'm going to do is begin with, let's do NG06, and I should have stamped this twice just in case, but it'll be okay. So I'm going to use, I have the little fine point tip, and then on this collection of markers at least, and then I have the brush tip. So it really comes in handy for small images. I'm going to add a little bit of this darker darker color just along the left side of this little skunk here on that tail, and then on the arm area I'll just go down that left side once more, and over here on this arm just down there. Okay, and I think that is good for that color. Now I'll bring in my NG03. Okay, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do, I guess I could do this little nib or fine point nib. Okay, and I am just going to blend out that darker color, kind of create a mid-tone there along that shadow. And just do my best to pull that color out, creating like a medium gray. And then just do one little soft color there. Ooh, I got out of the lines a little bit, but you know what? It's gonna be just fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing here. Okay, then I'm just adding some all over color on the rest of this little cutie pie. Just focusing on the body part. I actually am going to leave his little tummy and the top crown of his head just white. You could add in your shadows, you could add like a very, very pale gray, just so it didn't seem so stark white, but I'm actually just going to leave it and just keep it super simple like that. I think it'll be just fine. Okay, I think that looks super, super cute. So while I have this NG03, I'm going to grab this little shadow here, and I'm actually just going to extend right along the bottom of the face. Okay, just like that. Then with my lightest of the grays that I pulled, this is the CG2, I'll just kind of blend that out. I'm doing some little soft circles there. Pull that color out. And same on this side. And now I do want to add a little bit of color for some cheeks, but I'm going to let this gray really dry. That way the next color that I add, which will be the pink, kind of sits on top of the gray and doesn't seep in. And if the gray is too wet, then I'm worried it's just going to sink in. Okay, so I really like how that looks. Super cute. Okay, so now let's do, again, I am going to leave this all white, but I'm gonna grab my R21, and I'm only using one shade of pink just because of the tiny amount that I have, but I'll do the insides of the ears. And then I'm also going to do this heart here, and I'm going to do some all over color first. Now when this goes on, it looks very like highlighter orange to me. It looks very, very, very orange and vibrant, but it mellows out. So there's my all over color, and then I'm going to just add kind of a little shadow on that right side. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to give the little face just a little bit longer, and then I will add my little cheeks. I think that's probably plenty of time, so I'm going to add just a dot here. Very cute. Isn't that neat? And then here. Very cute. Okay, I like how nice and contrasty that is. Okay, let's also grab, I'm going to try a white gel pen and add a little bit of highlights. Okay, I am going to keep this super simple, and I'm going to come right along this lighter part of the tail and kind of just bring a little highlight down there, maybe add a little couple dots. I think that's cute. Okay, now I will go ahead and grab the coordinating dies and we can go ahead and trim this out. Okay, I'm going to grab my little wire snips here and just break these little dies apart, and then we can use them to cut out our cute little skunk and heart. Okay, so there's the skunk. Just twist, but I also am going to take off these little sharp edges, both so that they don't accidentally poke me, but also because if you leave them on, they leave a little imprint in the paper, which usually doesn't necessarily matter because the surrounding paper's being thrown away, but sometimes it really does matter based on how you are using your die. Maybe you are making a little window or something like that. So I always just make a habit of making sure they're nice and flush. Okay, let's grab the washi tape and get these all secured. I think that looks good. Oops. Okay, there we are. And then this little heart as well. Done. Okay, and I'll actually use that gel pen. I know you can use a colorless blender to remove your mistakes if you go out of the lines. With your alcohol markers, for some reason, I feel like I don't ever have much success with it. I'm not sure if I'm just not good with it or what, but I'm going to use my white gel pen to just color that in where I made that little whoopsie. You'll see in a minute. I'll show you what I think we can do. Now I'll just take this out, being careful not to rip my cute little images. Oh, I love that. And I love the little white border. I really do. I know it's not people, well, I know it's not some people's jam, but I think it's super fun to have the little offset around the dies. So I'll just grab the little pen here and I'm just going to color right over that mistake. And it's like it never happened. Perfect. Now we have our little background here, and my initial thought is just to have this cutie here. We'll add the little heart somewhere, right? And the heart's not important at this moment, but I want to get an idea for my sentiment, and I wanted the sentiment to just be stamped directly onto the card base. I was going to do "You're stinking cute," but that's going to be too long. So what if we did maybe "Your" can go inside that little framed area. We could do "Stinkin," and then we could do "Cute," which I actually think that may work. Okay, so I brought in my A2 layer die set, and I think I'm going to do the third die in. And you know what? I actually like it all together. I think it's going to be nice and clean and exactly what I was originally thinking. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will do my trim down in just a moment, but I think this is what I'll do for the little stamp set. I'm just going to get this just so, and then I will close the little door and get it all perfectly positioned. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna close that door. And yeah, I really do. I think that looks nice. So let's place that down. I'm going to condition these stamps gently. I don't want to actually or accidentally nudge them out of position by any means. Okay, and then just to be safe and make sure they look straight, I'm going to grab this little scrap here and let's just stamp that down. Doesn't have to be perfect in terms of ink. I just want to make sure that that's nice and straight. Oh yeah, that looks great. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in our actual panel. I just worked so hard on that I don't want to accidentally mess it up. Okay, let's get this nice and inked up. And I will double stamp this so that we have really nice contrast. Oh, I think that's going to be very cute. And I like the, oh, cute. I like the different fonts that we have going on there. Just makes it very adorable. I always love a nice pairing of fonts. Okay, once more, and there we go. And I hope that this stamp set is still available. If not, then this does still serve as really good inspiration, but if I find it, I'll link it down below. If not, I'll try to link something super similar for you to create with. But again, I'm trying to go through some of my items that I have purchased because they caught my eye at one point, so I want to make sure that I am enjoying them. Okay, now we'll grab, let's do that A2 layer die set that I have, and again, I'm going to do the third one in. Let's position that. And then I will go ahead, tape that into position, and I'll run this through off camera through my die cut machine. Okay, there we go. And there is my little trim down panel. I'm loving this. Okay, and I do think I'll use some foam adhesive on the back, but let's go ahead and put this on a card base really quick, and then we'll worry about, or not worry, there's no worrying going on, but we will focus on the layout for the cute little skunk. Let's step out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to do a colored card base. I have a nice pink piece of cardstock here, and I have this size at 11 by 4 1/4, and I intend to do a top folding card, so I'm going to do this at 5 1/2. There we go. There we are. Okay, a couple little score marks there. I'll put this to the side, and let's press that down. Okay, lovely. Some magnets down here, and then with my panel, see, I think that's going to look really nice. And again, it's about jumping out of comfort zones these days. I am going to use some really thin foam tape just to give the subtle dimension that it needs. Do that, and then I'll do one right in the middle. Okay, just like that. Make sure I didn't do too close to the edge there. No, I did not. I got a little close though. Okay, let's get the backs peeled off, and then we will place this, whoops, right on the card base, just like that. Oh, I love that. Very cute. Okay, now with this cutie and my heart, let's decide what we want to do. Ooh, I kind of like this. A bottom right justify. I kind of like how it's hugging the little sentiment down here. It's kind of dipping down. I think that's very cute. And then our little heart there. Okay, very cute. Let me add the little foam squares, just some teeny tiny ones. Opting for the smaller ones here only because I only want to grab one size, and I know they'll be better for the little heart. Okay, in fact, I think I will have to trim one right in half for the heart. There we go, just like that. Okay, so we know this little one is going to go in the bottom right. And you can put this anywhere. It's your card, right? I really appreciate when I can kind of tuck things and get them to interact with another element. So I like how it looks like it just belongs there. So I'll bring it up so it's not crowding it, but I also want that little wispy hair to kind of line up right on that right side of that border there. Love that. Okay, and then very quickly, let's do this little heart. Now you could cut out multiple hearts. That would be super cute too. But I think that's adorable. And you know, you could add some sequins if you like. I'm actually going to stop there. I love the simplicity of it. I think that there is power in stopping at a certain point, and for me, this is the final card that I think is super, super fun. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Again, down below, you will find a source list of everything that I used to bring this cute little card together. Oh, before I forget, my resolution this year is to do better at stamping the back. I have this little stamp, it's so cute, and I always forget about it. And after I moved, forget about it in a good way, I always had it in my old craft room in a drawer. So when I moved, I made sure to put it in a different spot where I can see it better. And I'll show you, I'll link this down below in case you want to have one custom made for you. But there we go. Whoops, a little whoopsie, but you know what? I think it adds to the whole idea that it is handmade, right? All right, there's the card. I hope you had fun watching this, and I think it turned out super cute. Be sure to let me know if you are working on Valentine's Day cards down below as well. And thanks so much for watching. I cannot wait to continue crafting with you all in the next video.